Hello there. If you're here, it probably means you're interested in learning how to shuffle dance, and I'm so thrilled to help you start your journey. Our community of Midlife Shuffle dancers is one of the most friendly, supportive groups that I have ever been part of, and it is such a privilege to be part of this midlife movement. This is going to be a pretty long video where we're going to go over everything that you need to know in order to get set up and start shuffle dancing the right way. There are a lot of tutorials across social media, and a lot of times people get really confused and frustrated because they don't know where to start. And shuffle dancing is one of those dances that starts with some fundamentals that have to be built on over the course of time and as your skills improve. Okay, I'm going to start here with your setup, everything that you need to have in order to start shuffle dancing. Let's begin with clothing and shoes. For clothing, wear anything that you want, anything that you're comfortable in, that you can move freely in. Workout clothes are great, sweats are great, whatever it is that you feel comfortable in. Women, you're going to need a very supportive bra. This is a high impact sport. We're going to be bouncing around quite a lot. As for shoes, you're going to need to have soft-soled, very flat sneakers. When I first started shuffle dancing, I danced in these running flats by Adidas. They don't actually make this style anymore, but they do have similar styles. I like them because they're super flat, but they're also super rubbery on the bottom, like really soft rubber. And that tends to be the case with this type of shoe. So one thing that you can do to make your shoes a little bit more amenable to pivoting is to put duct tape across the bottoms. So here's an example of how I do this. You're going to put the duct tape, this is like 2-inch duct tape or so. You're just going to put that right across the ball of your foot here, right across the heel here. Leave yourself at least an inch of the heel here so that you can make sure that you can land some of those high jumping moves. And of course, there are other types of shoes that are pretty popular. These are sort of typical skate shoes, Converse or Vans, high tops or low tops, doesn't really matter. The soles of these shoes are kind of a little more hard rubber, and that makes the shoes slightly heavier, but really not much of a difference. This rubber is still going to be fairly sticky, so you'll probably still want to use the tape trick. If you're really interested in going top of the line, Fuego dance shoes were specifically made for shuffle dancing. These have soft soles. The white part is a soft rubber, but they have these hard plastic pivot circles that make pivoting very, very easy. This is really kind of a game changer, but they're pretty pricey. If you're interested in buying these, you're welcome to use my promo code MidlifeShuffle10. I'll put a link to that in the description. Other important items you're going to need to have for shuffle dancing. One, a full-length mirror. I can't stress this enough. You can't learn how to shuffle dance if you can't see what your feet are doing, especially what your feet are doing behind your body. The only way to be able to do that is to watch yourself in a mirror. It will not only help you learn a lot faster, but it'll also help you correct form issues. Next up, some form of music. A music system, speakers or headphones, I don't care, whichever you prefer, and some kind of a music subscription. I have a subscription to Spotify. There's Apple Music subscriptions and a whole variety of others. Next up, you're going to need to have some dance space. A hard surface, either wood or vinyl or linoleum or anything like that, is ideal. Some dancers will dance on concrete in a garage or outside, or they'll dance on blacktop, or they'll go to the gym and dance on gym floors. Any of those are absolutely great. What you don't want is carpet. Carpet makes it incredibly difficult to do the pivot moves. There's way too much friction. If you only have carpet, you're going to have to modify that carpet so that you can actually dance on it. So one way, this is the most expensive way, is to buy snap-lock floor tiles or modular dance floors that you can buy little squares and put the little squares together, create yourself a little floor. Really, you only need about a 6 by 6 foot space, so you don't have to go crazy there, but those snap-lock tiles can be a little bit pricey. A slightly cheaper option is roll-out dance flooring like Marley vinyl. And the rollout dance floors, they're kind of thin, so when you put them on top of carpet, you might feel a little bit of a cushion there. A better idea is actually to glue the Marley floor onto like a piece of plywood or OSB subfloor. But that can be a little bit bulky. It might not be all that great for you to pick that up and stash it somewhere and bring it back out every time you want to practice dancing. But that is an option. And then one last idea, which I saw somebody do, and it actually worked out really great, is just great big thick cardboard, and then tape the entire edge of the cardboard onto your carpet, and that actually works as a surprisingly good dance floor. And in terms of gear, that's really all you need. Some dance floor space, some music and headphones, some clothing and shoes, and that very important mirror, and you are ready to go. Learning how to shuffle dance is like learning how to read. You would never expect a little 5-year-old kid to be able to read an entire novel. When a little kid is learning how to read, they're starting with letters of the alphabet, and they put those letters into words, and they sound out those words into sentences, and then the sentences become paragraphs, and so on until they're able to read an entire novel. Learning how to shuffle dance is very similar. When you see shuffle dancers out there, they're not just randomly dancing. They have actually learned a whole bunch of individual moves, and they put them together in combos that allow them to freely move between each of those moves. And this is actually a really important concept because a lot of people will see a shuffle dance video and say, I want to learn that. And they end up getting really frustrated early on because you can't just walk in and learn a dance like shuffle. You have to first learn all of those individual moves that comprise that choreography. And sometimes those individual moves are more on the advanced side. So kind of like when a little kid is learning how to read, the kid is going to learn the letter C and the letter A and the letter T and be able to put those letters into a word. But they might not be ready yet to learn the letters Z and X and Q. Those are going to be like more advanced letters that they're going to put into words a little bit later on. So that's what shuffle dancers do. They keep learning new moves and keep putting those new moves into more and more complicated combos until ultimately they can do a really difficult or long choreography or just hang out and freestyle with that great big repertoire of moves. So where do you start? My recommendation always is to start right here on my YouTube channel with my level 0 playlist. I have a really solid progression from level 0 all the way up through level 3 that'll give you so much to learn that by the time you finish level 3, you'll actually be well on your way to doing your own choreographies and your own freestyle. All of my tutorials here on YouTube are completely free and completely ad-free and yours for the taking. And I always recommend that people start with my level 0 playlist because there are some really important concepts in there that if you understand them are going to help you learn the foundations a lot faster. The first concept is the perch and the landing. Almost all of our moves in shuffle dancing have a perch and a landing of some kind. Shuffle dancing is done on the half count, and so between beats we're going to be perching or preparing, and then on the beat we're going to be landing. So for example, in the running man, we have a perch and we have a landing. And those added together become the running man. Same thing with the Polly Pocket. We have a perch for the Polly Pocket and a landing. And when you do the perch and the landing over and over again, you get the Polly Pocket. And the second important concept is pivoting side to side like this on one foot, like this, or pivoting toes together and heels together like this. Just learning those basic pivots will really help you in learning some of the foundational cutting shapes moves like the Charleston and the T-step. So watch the videos through my level 0 playlist, and when you finish all those videos, you can go right into level 1 and get started with the foundational 5 shuffle moves. The foundational 5 comprises the running man, the Charleston, the T-step, the Polly Pocket, and the crisscross. And why those moves specifically? Because many, many, many other moves rely on the mechanics of those foundational moves. So once you learn the mechanics of the running man, for example, it's going to be a lot easier to learn many other moves that also have that perch and that A-shape style landing. So my level 1 playlist has tutorials for all of those foundational moves and tutorials for small combos so that you can start learning how to put them together with transitions. And of course, after you finish the level 1 playlist, you'll move right into level 2 where you'll learn more about depth and directional type moves that'll add a lot more dimension to your dancing. So I hope this video gave you some good insight on how to get started, and I'm always here and available if you have any questions. Please reach out. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.